Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wiggins 77 True Crime. Thank you for joining us. Today, we will continue with the autopsy and time of death in the JonBenet Ramsey case. I will use layman terms as I am not a medical professional by any stretch of the imagination. In any investigation, we need to determine as close as possible the time of death. We know that the Ramsey family arrived home the evening of December 25th at approximately 9 to 9:15 p.m. All were in bed by approximately 10:30 to 10:40 p.m. We also know the body was discovered at approximately 1:15 p.m. on December 26th. What does the autopsy tell us in regards to time of death? Examination of the back of her back is unremarkable. There is dorsal 3 plus to 4 plus livor mortis, which is non-blanching. Livor mortis is also present on the right side of the face. Livor mortis is the pooling of blood in the body after death. Livor mortis begins between 20 to 30 minutes after death and takes approximately 2 hours after death to fully develop. The 3 plus to 4 plus means the livor mortis was in the fully developed stage. Now, there's no notation in the autopsy report that the livor mortis is present anywhere else on the body, which could mean that JonBenet died where she was found laying on her back with her head turned to the right. There is a 20 to 30 minute window for a body to be moved, right after the time of death, before the livor mortis will show signs the body has been moved. Now, rigor mortis begins approximately 2 hours after death and completely sets in approximately 12 hours after death. Rigor mortis passes through the body approximately between 18 to 36 hours after death. With the autopsy, it appears that the rigor mortis was almost passed through the upper portion of the body while still present to a certain degree in the lower portion of the body. Counting backwards from the time of the autopsy to the time the body was found is approximately 19 hours. Add on the 12 hours for rigor mortis to set, we have approximately 31 hours. The autopsy began at approximately 8:15 a.m. December 27th. Counting backwards 31 hours, we arrive at the approximate time of death at 1:15 a.m. December 26th. This is not an exact science. There are many variables that can and do affect the time of death. However, this gives an approximately what the time frame is, so you have something at least to work with. The other way they do it is from the autopsy, they'll take the rate of digestion for food to be digested and end up in the small intestine. That is approximately 6 to 8 hours. The Ramsey family ate dinner at their friend's home the evening of December 25th. The time that the friends gave police they sat down for dinner was approximately 6 p.m. That's on December 25th. The approximate time the children would have finished the meal is, about 6:30, because, children don't take as long as adults. For an approximate time of death, we'll take the 6:30 p.m., we'll add the 7 hours, because we'll cut it down the middle there, for the rate of digestion. So we have an approximate 1:30 a.m. December 26th. This is not an exact science again. However, it does give you an approximate time of death, and this is like goes hand in hand with rigor mortis in the sense that if you end up doing the separate calculations and end up in the same time period, then you're getting close to being accurate. The autopsy report states the proximal portion of the small intestine contains fragmented piece of yellow to light green apparent vegetable or fruit, which may represent fragments of pineapple. The police waited 10 months before sending the contents of the small intestine for analysis. The forensic report stated that the small intestine contents contained grape, grape skin, cherries, and pineapple. Anyone familiar with eating fruit cocktail will recognize these ingredients, as this is what the contents were. It wasn't the mushy pineapple. So this is the end of the pineapple story. Now that we have banished this pineapple forever, we can focus on what is important. I hope I haven't bored you to tears with the autopsy, but let's recap. We have an approximate time of death sometime around midnight to 2 a.m. Cause of death is skull fracture in conjunction with strangulation, bruising around the neck consistent with strangulation, a possible sexual assault, 2 sets of similar abrasions, contusions on the posterior right shoulder. Other items to note from the autopsy report are: there was no drugs or alcohol detected. The right sleeve of her top contained a dried blood brown stain measuring about 2.5 by 1.5 inches, consistent with mucus from the nose or mouth. Now, it was tested, and we'll discuss that in the next episode. The long underwear are urine stained anteriorly over the crotch area and anterior legs. The underwear is urine stained, and in the inner aspect of the crotch area, several red areas of staining measuring up to 1/2 inch in dimension. There is petechial hemorrhage above and below the furrow where the neck ligature was around the neckline. There is a roughly triangular parchment-like rust-colored abrasion which measures 1.5 inches in length with a maximum width of 3/4 inch. Petechial hemorrhage on the anterior front left shoulder. Fingernails on both hands are sufficient for clipping. I would just like to make a note that one theory is that the small petechial hemorrhages above and below the furrow and the neck were created by JonBenet attempting to remove the ligature. Excuse me. That's one of the theories out there. In the autopsy photographs of her hands, her nails appear intact, not broken. There's no mention in the autopsy report of her nails being broken. So I would think if a person was grabbing at something around their neck with such intensity as to cause petechial hemorrhaging, I would tend to think that some fingernails would be broken. That it's just some food for thought. On the piece of tissue taken from the vaginal wall, there was a small amount of blood and now I may not say this correctly, so I apologize, birefringent foreign material. I've never seen a forensic report that states what the birefringent foreign material is. These are items given to the police at the end of the autopsy. They collected fibers and hair from clothing and body surfaces. The ligatures, her clothing, vaginal swabs and smears, rectal swabs and smears, oral swabs and smears, paper bags from her hands, fingernail clippings, jewelry, paper bags from feet, the white body bag, samples of head hair, eyelashes, eyebrows, swabs from right and left thighs and right cheek, red top and purple top tubes of blood. So please join me for the next episode as we will continue to discuss the results of the forensic tests. Thank you so much for listening. Please click the like and subscribe buttons. It's free. Look forward to you joining me for our next episode where we will continue to review the evidence and collect the clues. Please leave your feedback in the comments, or you are more than welcome to email me directly at ybentleydavidson@outlook.com. Until next time, always remember, every day is a gift.